Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Kavanaugh's Corner. Today on the show I'm going to be reviewing a movie that I picked up. It was a day one purchase. I absolutely had to buy this one. It's one of my favorite films, especially favorite films of Tim Burton. This is really a great horror comedy. It really is one of the best of its kind, and this is, of course, Beetlejuice, starring Alec Baldwin, Gina Davis, and of course Winona Ryder, and the absolutely fantastic Michael Keaton, who steals the entire movie, even though he's only in it for probably about 20% of the film he's really in. But he really is amazing in this. He is one of my favorite actors of all time, and this combined with Batman, Clean and Sober, some really fantastic roles that he played. Actually, this and Clean and Sober were actually the same year. And if you've ever seen that movie, that's a very little known movie, but it is fantastic. It's probably one of the best movies about addiction and recovery that's ever been made. And really, that movie combined with this back-to-back, that is like an acting triumph in my mind. And then a year later, he goes and does Batman, again with Tim Burton. So just incredible stuff. But today I'm going to be talking about this new 4K transfer of Beetlejuice and how it holds up on the new format. So first and foremost, I want to mention this is a 2-disc set. So just to kind of open it up here, you have the 4K disc in one side, that's the green one, and the standard Blu-ray, which is on the other here. And this is an all-new 4K transfer. And I have to say, this is a phenomenal transfer from Warner Brothers. Now, this only has HDR10 on the disc, but first and foremost, let's talk about the picture quality here. The picture quality on this disc is second to none. This has got to be one of the best 4K transfers that I have. The picture is clean, it's crisp, the detail level is extraordinary. Everything from clothing to wallpapers to the little designs that Catherine O'Hara makes, these big grotesque statues that she designs, the sandworms. I mean, I could go on and on for days about how just unbelievable the picture quality is on this disc. It really is kind of mind-blowing at times how good it is. The other thing I wanted to mention too is, besides the detail quality, is that the picture itself, even though this is a film from 1988, again, crazy to think that, but this movie looks very clean. There is not a lot of grain in the picture. There is a very fine grain texture throughout the film, but it is barely noticeable. But they did not DNR this film, and that is one thing I want to make absolutely clear, is that even though the grain structure is very, very fine, it's almost unnoticeable, they did not use any sort of digital noise reduction that I could see that kind of damaged the image quality of the film. Again, it isn't exactly, you know, like digital 100% crisp quality, but for a film of this age, that is really something phenomenal. They were able to make this picture look that clean. Very, very well done job from Warner Brothers there on that. Now, the other thing that's great about the picture quality on that is that the HDR10 on this disc actually does a really fantastic job of making the colors all throughout the film way more vibrant. The picture is not only, you know, more vibrant in terms of brightness, even though, you know, there are some dark levels in this film, there are some dark moments in this film. I mean, it is a very dark comedy. The darkness of the film is much more leveled now. It isn't murky. The black levels in this disc are basically perfect. I never noticed any issues with that. Colors overall are just way more vibrant. There is one scene in particular that really blew me away. and there is a scene where Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis draw a door. It's that famous scene where they draw a door on a brick wall, they knock 3 times and it opens up and they kind of go into the waiting room in the afterlife, and a great scene. But there's a green light that shines through the door when it opens, and it is this vibrant lime green now, and there's a wonderful shot of the light coming through onto Winona Ryder's eyes, and that shot is just so stunning now because the black levels have been perfectly just leveled now to where you can still make out parts of her face, but it's dark, and then you have this bright lime green right here, and it is just shockingly beautiful. And the movie basically is like that all throughout. Near the end of the film, where Beetlejuice comes out of the table and he's got like this mobile thing in the head and the wings coming out. Crazy scene, but in that scene there is like a yellowish light, almost like a fog lamp behind Michael Keaton's head, and before it just kind of looked white. Now it almost has this mustard yellow color to it, and it's really fascinating how much HDR affects picture quality. I mean, this movie looks stunning. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention too is that this does have an all-new Dolby Atmos track on it as well, and the Dolby Atmos on this disc is also phenomenal. Didn't really have any issues with having to pump up the volume a whole lot. I did notice that dialogue and music were very clear. You know, sound effects were crystal clear in this version. There's actually a really great scene where there's like the point of view of a fly, and the fly lands on the Maitlands' kind of little model of their town, and Beetlejuice grabs the fly and eats him. You see his hands come out, you know. But the sound of the fly buzzing through the room is really something. It really does sound like you have like a giant fly buzzing around you. I know Jeff from Films at Home in his review also mentioned that, and he was dead on when he said that, as I watched his review and then watched this movie, and boy, is that a standout moment in this. So Jeff, if you're watching this, you nailed it on that one. That is a great, great moment. Again, my favorite musical moment in the film is, of course, the anything that has to do with the Harry Belafonte soundtrack. It's something about it is just so great. Never knew the usage of Harry Belafonte could be so well done, but in this movie, of course, the famous scene where they're all possessed at the dinner table dancing and, you know, shaking their behinds, and just a really funny scene. But the music in this really bellows now, almost seeming like otherworldly, that this is some kind of speaker from heaven is playing this Harry Belafonte song, and and I wish I could describe it in a better way, but it really is what it sounds like. It's just this you know, music coming from the ether. It's just amazing. But again, that kind of thing is really what makes this Dolby Atmos track really shine, is just the great usage of overheads and surrounds, just to make this movie, you know, even more immersive. They really did a great job with this disc. Only disappointing thing is that there really isn't much in terms of special features. I was really hoping there would be more in terms of special features. Beetlejuice has been a movie that's been infamously low on special features over the years. There's a couple episodes of the old cartoon from the 90s, I think late 80s, early 90s, that I used to watch all the time on Nickelodeon, actually. But there's some couple episodes of that on here on the Blu-ray disc, and a trailer, and that's pretty much it. There's really not much else. So really the only negative I could give to this disc is that there's really not much in terms of special features. But it is a phenomenal movie. I mean, really, if you're a fan of this film, you're not going to go wrong with this release. This is hands down one of the best transfers I have in my collection. Overall, I highly recommend Beetlejuice. If you love this movie, you're going to absolutely love this new 4K transfer. It is well worth the money, and I'm very glad I did a day one purchase on this one. Fantastic release from Warner Brothers. I hope they keep it up with this. They did a great job. Anyway, thank you so much for coming back to Kavanaugh's Corner. That's it for the review today. Again, if you enjoyed this, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel so I can keep bringing you reviews like this. And until next time, please stay safe and take it easy.